Is what is my understanding of what constitutes economic progress, and is economic progress something important for the future of the Ummah? Good. Allah speaks in the Quran, and history tells us as well, that an army constituted of refugees, no state-of-the-art armor, no horses, only 2, hardly any camels, only 315 or so men. And they had to face an army of 1,000, the rich people's army, a good economy, prosperous economy, state-of-the-art armor, lots of horses, lots of camels. كم من فئة قليلة غلبت فئة كثيرة بإذن الله, says Allah in the Quran. How many times has it happened that a small force defeated a big force? Today we are poor. Our enemies are wealthy. Saudi Arabia is wealthy. Qatar is wealthy. But they have joined the side of the enemy. And those who are resisting are poor. But that is no reason for us to lose heart. That the poor can still triumph with Allah's help. So a sound economy is not a guarantee that you would succeed in the military struggle, the armed struggle of resistance against oppression. That's the first point we want to make. What constitutes economic progress? For us, economic progress is measured by the level of suffering in the society, not by how many billionaires there are and how many millionaires there are. But what is the level of suffering in a society? We want to see a distribution of wealth in a society that is fair and equitable, and that no one is without basic necessities of life, food and clothing and shelter. A single mother, she's divorced and he's gone, found another girl, a younger one, prettier one, and left her with the children. And she has to walk the street to look for a job, to earn a livelihood, to feed her children. If that's your economy, it's not ours. In our economy, we must have economic provisions. She does not have to look for a job. Her husband is dead. She doesn't have to look for a job. No woman in our economy has to look for a job to feed herself and her children. None. That's the difference between us and you. She has the right to pursue economic activity. She can be a businesswoman, sure. But the society, the economy has a duty to her to ensure that she and the children have basic necessities of life without having to seek employment. For us, that's economic progress. There are others in the society who are disabled, cannot work, who are ill, cannot work. We don't leave them on the streets and dismantle social security. We don't create insurance companies, so you have to buy an insurance policy. Our insurance policy is a jama'ah. Every single member of the Jama'ah has a responsibility to those who are disabled, to those who are ill, to those who are in need. That's a healthy economy. Not an economy in which wealth constantly revolves only amongst the wealthy. And they grow richer and richer. And the rest of the economy is sinking into greater and greater poverty and destitution. That's not a healthy economy. All those who follow Dajjal today are doing that. They boast of a healthy economy. How much do you pay her? Why are you running away now? Come back, come in the hall. Don't run. How much are you paying her? The Indonesian maid. She's the first to wake up in the morning. She's the last to sleep at night. She has to leave her husband and her children in Indonesia and come here and pick up your garbage. She works all day like a donkey. And at the end of the day, she's paid the wage of a donkey. Is that a healthy economy? How much do you pay the Bangladeshi worker? How much do you pay the Indonesian worker? In a prosperous economy. I'm asking you, Singapore. I'm asking you because you are the model. Don't be annoyed when I call your name Singapore. I have the right to do that. Because you are presented to the world as a model economy. How many million Indonesian women have worked in Singapore as maids? So you can be prosperous. So your wife can go out for dinner every night in some fancy restaurant, while the maid is there to take care of the home and the children. And then at the end of the month, you pay her the wage of a slave. Shame on you, shame on you, shame. Is that economic progress? So this is a different way of looking at the subject than is taught at the Harvard School of Business. How should we respond appropriately in order to be successful in our response to the political and economic and monetary challenges? Is that the question?
Yes.
It is. When you've abandoned the Quran and someone comes to you and points out to you, you have abandoned the Quran. When you have abandoned the Sunnah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and someone comes to you and tells you this is what you have done, and you recognize it, then what should you do? The answer is you must make tawbah. Tawbah means to turn around, to turn away from that and to turn to Allah and His Messenger. You would have been doing that a long ago, all of you. This ummah would have been doing that if the scholars of Islam had done their job. The reason why we are failing and failing and failing, constantly failing, is because the scholars of Islam have failed and failed miserably. Failed on the political front, on the economic front, on the monetary front. And so my answer to you is, we need a new generation of scholars of Islam. We cannot get that new generation of scholars of Islam with our existing institutions of Islamic learning. No. We have to create a new world of Islamic scholarship. I'm hoping and praying that the internet can help us as our message reaches the young people in different parts of the world, that they may grow tomorrow to be the scholars of Islam who will lead the ummah back to the Quran and to the Sunnah.